Janata Party President Swamy-3 refuses to relent in his battle against the Congress in the lone row. He's now walked the talk by moving the Election Commission seeking derecognition of the Congress Party over extending a loan to Associated Journals Private Limited. Reacting to this, the Congress Party has said it will contest the complaint filed by Swamy.
Janata Party President Swamy taking the battle against the Congress to the next level. Swamy walking his talk, moving the Election Commission, demanding the derecognition of the Congress Party.
The Election Commission is convinced that something wrong has happened, prima facie, not necessarily proved to have happened, but prima facie something has happened, they'll issue notice to Congress. They got 1600 crores for 50 lakh rupees, which is a fraud. And then they have given that building, which is only meant to be used for a newspaper, as a commercial enterprise.
Forced on the back foot, the National Party maintains no wrongdoing in its venture to grant a loan to Associated Journals Limited, as it was its duty to bring the National Herald newspaper back to health. But it's this confession that has now got Swamy knocking at the EC's door.
We know how to spend our fund, what is the legal requirements for keeping the fund and spending the fund. So what Mr. Swamy is saying is not true.
The opposition so far refusing to buy the Congress's arguments.
राजनीतिक काम वो है जिनका संबंध गांधी और नेहरू की विचारधारा से है। हमने अपने राजनीतिक धर्म का निर्वाह किया है क्योंकि एसोसिएटेड प्रेस और नेशनल हेराल्ड गांधी और नेहरू की विचारधारा को आगे बढ़ाने का काम करते रहे।
We have heard a very spirited defense of the Congress Party's latest misadventure. Neither the Congress nor the BJP, none of us are going to be able to define it, but it is the law of the land which decides which is political and which is not.
Congress will like to prove that they are a party which wants to stick to their ideology, whereas BJP will use this opportunity to divert attention from their own president. With all this mudslinging, it is difficult to adopt an attitude of holier than thou. With muck all around, the common man has to choose between a less corrupt parties. With camera Rajesh Shrivastava, Atish Shrivastava in Delhi for Headlines Today.
The man making these charges, taking on the Congress Party head-on, Swamy, Janata Party President, joins us live. Mr. Swamy, my first question to you. Should a political party be prosecuted for providing aid, which is essentially to help revive a newspaper, sir?
Well, the law is such that when you take a donation, the political party has to use it for purely political purposes. That is part of the guidelines. And if you look at the Representative People Act, Section 29A, B, C, you will find that the political parties have been given permission to take donations from companies, from individuals, and what amount, then they get tax exemption for it. And there is no provision for giving loans. In fact, you see, there is a case recently of the BCCI, of that cricket organization, giving a loan to IPL. And the income tax promptly objected. And not only that, they cancelled the tax exempt status of BCCI and imposed a severe fine. Of course, they have gone now to the High Court. But the fact is that you have to stay within the laws which you have accepted in order to get your recognition. And that is what Congress Party has done. It's not a question of sentiment. You want to help a newspaper, you don't want to help a newspaper. They have got other organizations that they can do that. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation is there. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation has even given money for scholarship to the killer of Rajiv Gandhi, that Nalini's daughter, to study in England. So, I mean, there is no bar to several other organizations giving this kind of help. Second is, the final result of this entire transaction is that National Herald is finished. because young Indians' objective, which they have to strictly adhere under Section 25, is not for producing newspapers, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi has gone on record to the PTI on October 9th, which you can get from the internet, where he said we will not publish a newspaper. So therefore,
Mr. Swamy,
the
building on the
question
point that you're making about Section 25, the Congress says that under Section 25 of the Companies Act, this is a not-for-profit company and therefore no law has been broken. How do you counter this, sir?
Well, see, there is non-for-profit company, there is a trust. Then there is a Society Act. And then Section 25, what the Section 25 says is that you are a company, you may not use private limited if you don't want to, but you are a company. Two, you can do commercial activities. Whatever profit comes from that must be spent for the objectives that you have stated. It doesn't say anything else. Now, what has happened is this National Herald House of 1600 crores has come to be in the ownership of the Young Indian, of which 76% of the shares belongs to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Tomorrow, for example, they decide we are going to liquidate the company. Then what happens? Under the Companies Act, this building will become will be distributed between the shareholders, which means in effect the ownership will shift to the hands of personal hands of an ownership of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. So the question is, in a Section 25, not for profit is a very weak concept. You can issue shares, you can buy and sell buildings, you can do all kinds of activities. The only restriction is that it should the spending of that should be restricted to the objectives. Now tomorrow Rahul Gandhi goes to Paris for whatever reason, they can always say it is for understanding secularism in France and then write off those expenses. So it can be used for personal purposes under a cover. So these are not of importance to me whether it's a non-profit company or not. What is the importance is that you have got for 50 lakhs rupees investment, in effect you have got 1600 crores worth of building. Because all that you have done is that the liabilities you have owned of 90 crores, you are the president of the Congress party and the general secretary is also there. The treasurer is on both sides, the giving side and the taking side. And obviously this loan is not going to be paid back. And consequently for 50 lakhs ineffectively, they are getting 1600 crores worth of building, which was only meant for bringing out a newspaper. Instead of that, they are renting it out. They are giving it to Passport Seva Kendra, multinational corporations, and obviously it's all commercial activity.
Now, Mr. Swamy, the other aspect to be considered here is this opinion which is coming to the fore, saying that, you are fighting a political war. Why haven't you gone to the courts, challenged the legality as well? Why have you gone directly, approached the Election Commission directly, sir?
Those who do not understand court procedures, they only make such comments. Court procedure is very clear. They will first ask, did you go to the government and ask for prosecution? And if I say no, I come straight to you, the court will dismiss it. The court has made it a number of times. When all the avenues are exhausted, then you can come to us as a last resort. You can't come unless your fundamental rights have been taken away. You cannot come straight to us. So I wrote a letter to the Chief Election Commissioner. I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister because many departments are involved in this. I asked the Prime Minister to take action. I have to give him some time. But fortunately, in the case of the Election Commission, Mr. Dwivedi yesterday owned up that yes, we have given this loan, and that is for a variety of reasons. So I immediately went to the Election Commission with a complaint today, with a petition today. So I can only go to the court when I have completed the process of trying out the other normal procedures, and if that doesn't work, then I go to the court.
No, Mr. Swamy, I mean, the argument being put forth by the Congress too, I mean, if you consider that, why should they be de-recognized for activity from which the party didn't profit at all, sir?
Because they broke the law, and law breaking is law breaking, and I would advise people to read what the judge said. in the case of Rajat Gupta, for whom everybody recommended there should be leniency because he has done so much social activity. But the judge said that all the more reason, if such a person highly placed breaks the law, then he must be made an example of. And I say the Congress party has been in power for such a long time. It knows the law and they have broken the law. So they must be punished, and there is a provision under 16A of the Symbols Order where the Election Commission can de-recognize that party.
Mr. Swamy, understandably, there's plenty of criticism coming your way from the Congress party. They've come out and said that this is just another stunt after your petitions against Mr. Chidambaram as well failed to see his removal. How do you respond, sir, to these charges?
Well, first of all, I have not only petitions against Mr. Chidambaram, I had against Raja, that is ongoing. I had a petition for cancellation of the licenses that I have been successful in. There are many I have been successful. In fact, Chidambaram, the matter is not over. There was a judgment and I appealed against it Supreme Court. Supreme Court didn't accept. So I've gone for review. And review is being considered now. It has been taken on board. The court has to decide whether they want to review the matter. And if they don't agree, then I have still one more option, and that is to go for a curative petition, where 5 judges will sit in. I am completely convinced that Mr. Chidambaram has committed wrong offences and he should be prosecuted. Then there is another case of Mr. Chidambaram that has not yet been pronounced on by any court, and that is the Aircel Maxis fraud, which only on yesterday, on the 1st of November, I appeared in the Supreme Court. It will come up again on the 8th. It is not being reported in the media, so people don't know.
Right.
So Mr. Chidambaram is still very much under a cloud, and this is a usual thing that if one court dismisses it. In fact, let me point out to you both on the question of sanction, where I got from the court after Mr. Manmohan Singh didn't give me the sanction, as well as the cancellation of licenses. The Delhi High Court rejected both.
Yes.
Yet the Supreme Court upheld it. So till I have exhausted all that, you cannot say that Mr. Chidambaram has gone scot-free.
All right. We understand where you're coming from, saying that Mr. Chidambaram hasn't gotten away scot-free as well. Mr. Subramanian Swamy, as far as your stand goes, it's quite clear that your fight against the Congress party will continue. We appreciate you joining us this evening, sir, and making quite clear just what you had plan to take this forward way as well. Thanks so much for joining us.